Tuzar Skipper.
The return.
The return. He's back, baby. The preseason extraordinaire. The guy that had everybody up in arms when he was, relieved of said duty, said services. Adding to a group that we said was a little thin in terms of the outside linebacker position. I don't hate it. I think that it works. I think that it's a good move. Gives you quality depth. At least for the fans, they're excited about it because of what he was able to do in the preseason and stuff like that.
2019.
Kind of building up the name. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see, what that looks like. Just his journey as well, man. When you leave the organization and then you're able to return, what is your mindset like? I know you're trying to prove stuff, but what have you learned? What have you improved upon yourself during that time away? That's the part that I'll be interested to see, when they go out there for practice next week, man, get a chance to see that. I want to see what it looked like though, man.
See the next James Harrison.
Oh man, is that what y'all doing? Is that really what I'm about to say? Don't y'all be starting that, man. Somebody out there is definitely saying that.
I've brought it up. I've compared it just because Harrison cut back and forth between teams, finally carved out a special teams role with us for a few years, and then I think it was 27 or 28 when he got his first chance to actually start at outside linebacker. The rest is history.
Yes.
That is the extreme version of that.
It is very
that story right there. That's a really big outlier.
I guess how TG with TG say, y'all, if we're gonna go Derrick Henry and Saquon, we got to go the other way too with some context. We got to go some context on this one. Like, dog, we just going instantly Debo? Like,
no, I'm not going
all-time
that way.
Great? Like,
it's something to think about. But
that's a lot.
I'm with you. It doesn't hurt us. I'm not like overly excited about it because up to this point, he's bounced around through a few teams, and that 2019 preseason did get us excited. But then you just wonder, like, why couldn't he? Why couldn't you latch onto a team or find a role? And we brought him back. Actually, I forgot about this, but we cut him before the 2019 season started, which was a bummer. Yeah. But then I think he signed somewhere else. I think it was the Giants, and they cut him. Then we brought him back at some point, and then he didn't stick around through the next offseason. Then he's been on the Falcons, Titans, back and forth.
Whereas I think of the contrast of Quincy Roche.
Right.
He's still in New York right now, if I remember correctly. So,
from what I know.
Yeah. So it wasn't as much bouncing around with him as it was Tuzar. But both of them, that's interesting though, man.
But right now, you got to think he might have a chance to make the roster. You got Tushka and Avery in front of him in terms of the depth spots with the outside linebackers. They might have a chance.
No, he definitely. I mean, trust me, he definitely has a chance. That third outside linebacker, the backup to TJ and Alex, is definitely a wide open competition. Because even with Jannard Avery, he's intriguing, but it's still uncertainty with him. It's still questions around him. Number one, he's switching back to a position that he hadn't played in the past couple of years. In Philly, he was an off-ball 4-3 linebacker. That is not what he's going to be doing here as a pass rusher 3-4 outside linebacker. This goes back to his time in Cleveland as a rookie. So you're still trying to figure out what that looks like. With Tuzar, he's a traditional outside linebacker. He already has some familiarity, but you're still going to have to see, can he overcome some of his limitations from an athletic perspective? All of those dudes, though, man. Derek Tuska, he's another guy. It's like, I know you're not a fan of him. I know. But in terms of Tuzar just beating him out right away, I don't think that's, out of this frame, out of this world. I think all of those guys it's going to be interesting to watch who emerges from that group, man, and how fast they do, because the speed of whoever emerges is ultimately going to dictate or determine if the Steelers feel the need to add to that room. So we'll see what Tuzar can do, though, man, because I don't look at Tuzar as like necessarily a big addition. I think this is more as like lateral to see what the competition just looks like with the group that we have. I think if you're going to try to bring in a name, I think that they would spend a little bit more in bringing obviously a more proven player. But for this stage right now, for this phase that they're in right now, I think that it makes sense to do a Tuzar level move to just see what that looks like with that group.
Yeah, I don't think anyone could really be opposed to it.
Yeah.
Is anyone out there? This is the worst signing ever.
I can't believe you bringing it back again. How many times?
We're giving him a cheap contract, and he's just going to be fighting for a depth spot or maybe a special teams role. What's wrong with that right now?
Yeah.
Doesn't hurt us from, like you said, if we need to get a third guy and spend a little bit more, we can do that.
Yeah. Shoot, Jack Cam would be a backup special teams player anyways if he was in today's NFL. So that can't hurt if Derek Tuska is the same thing, right? Yeah. Said somebody out there.
I was gonna ask TG about it because he brought up Whaley.
Come on, man.
Because he didn't know his name. He said, I thought it was gonna be the dude from Buffalo. And I was gonna say, he took himself out of the running because he talked about Jack Ham. What do you think of Jack Ham?
He got fired before he started working. Yes, that's what happened to him. Yes.
I guess, is that it for Skipper?
That's kind of how I felt about
no
Skipper.
No hate for that move. I mean, it's fine.
Yeah.